gentlemen, we're back with the Our Barn Community Podcast. This time around, we've got Kev from the Basement Door. For those of you who don't know Kev, very handsome man, turns up, organises tons of good stuff for Our Barn. And he's in the background where everybody else is out there shining. This is your time, Kev. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi guys. So handsome. That's a good one. Yeah. So I've been with Basement Door. I started off with a friend of mine actually, and just helped her out getting a few bands in 13 years ago, I think it was, and now I'm the manager of the Basement Door, which is amazing. And I've got some amazing trustees that help me out to do all the legal stuff and make sure that we're complying with everything as we have to nowadays. But the main thing we do is we do gigs for young people, and it's such an amazing thing to do. Normally we do gigs for young people, and we get thousands of young people a year coming to our gigs. We get so many new bands and new artists coming through, and it keeps me young, and it keeps me challenged, and I absolutely love it, and I thrive off of it. And just it's just a brilliant thing to do. It's so amazing when you can see young people having fun.
Yeah, if you don't know where the Basement Door is, and you're thinking, oh, the Basement Door sounds like a private club, it is Richmond Hill on the left, the Vineyard, under that lovely church in the school.
So yeah, it's a school as well now. Yeah, so they've got the vineyards, little vineyard, I think it's called. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called now.
Yeah, it's all right.
Little Vic, yeah.
Little Vic.
So the Little Vic is upstairs in the church, and then underneath is the basement and the community centre, and that's where we started off doing our gigs, and we still do acoustic gigs there. And then we've got other venues around the borough as well, so Kingston and Teddington and now Twickenham, hopefully with the Exchange as well. So yeah.
So you will definitely have heard of the Basement Door if you've been to an Our Barn Fest. Any of the most recent Our Barn Fests have featured some of your finest talent, and we've been really, really, really proud to call it Barn Fest since Kev's gang turned up, because they don't just turn up with a band. They turn up with the volunteers. They turn up with enthusiasm, with a smile, with grace. Sometimes a little late, but Kev's always there on time.
Yeah, once they go, where's the rest of them? Where are they? Why are they here?
Sound check. We need to do this now. What time are we starting, Dave? I'm like, we've started.
Yeah. The punctuality sometimes is a bit lacking, but we try, and I like to lead by example and get there early, just so they can know that I'm there, and then hopefully one day they'll realise that they could turn up at my time as well.
We've had some recently wonderful gigs, and it'd be really good to explore that venue again down at the Brentford Project.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I know Brentford is going through that transition. It'd be great to be a part of that transition. We've got some really nice contacts down there, and it turned out to be quite a chilly night. I turned on the heaters and blew all the lights. So oops.
That's right.
So wherever we go, be it Basement Door, it was the Our Barn's Basement Door night.
That's it, yeah.
But wherever we go out with a bang. Excuse me, we go out with a bang, and my voice goes with it. But by all means, there was nobody was taking. Well, actually, a few people had taken their jackets off, but you could see your breath. But you guys brought an array of prizes and energy to that gig, Kev. Is that the same for everything that you do?
Yeah, we try to always make it a really good show that's entertaining, that people feel welcomed into, that they're not being sort of like, oh, I don't fit in here. Everyone fits, everyone's included, and try to provide a really good sound quality. The sound we get from the bands and everything playing. A light show that matches the sounds, and just make it really inclusive and as punchy as we can. It's something that sort of just goes, what people go away from and go, and if they only ever come to one Basement Door night, they'll go away going, that's a great night. That's what we want to happen all the time. We've had a few over the years which haven't gone great for various reasons, but in general, that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for everyone to go home and go, "What a great night that was."
Put it into picture. The age range that come to the basement door.
So anything from, I mean, our main age range, I suppose, is 14 to 17. That's our main catchment. But of course, we allow families to come in so they can bring younger children. Sometimes they're wearing earmuffs to protect their ears, and they might bring their grannies down, and to see them performing. They might bring the teachers from college or music college or wherever they are. So yeah, the main age range that we're sort of working with and looking at is sort of 14 to 17. I think we go from 12 to 22 is our thing, but that's the main body of people that come down, and then it sort of expands as we look at the grannies coming down and the really young children coming down with their parents.
Goes without saying, but it's generally the safest environment I've ever been to. A basement door, Our Barn gig felt like this warm hug. You walk in, you get a lovely welcome, you get lovely music. The vibe was delightful. A little bit chilly, but that doesn't matter. You warmed the space up. I think there was a bit of moshing. There was definitely lots of support behind the bands. All of their families turned up. All of their peers turned up.
Yeah.
It's a good energy, and it's a clean energy. Nobody is drinking. This is a pop energy. Tea, coffee, and maybe a bit of
tea, coffee, and water.
Yeah, honestly, and bottleable enthusiasm.
Yes,
without a doubt. We've had down at the last Barn Fest, which it was online. We had Tom Wykes and Maisie Johnson. They went down a storm.
Yeah,
an absolute storm. We went wild. You were there.
Yes, it was great to watch everyone dancing and jumping up and down. I think because Maisie's obviously done it for a couple of years because she lives around the corner from Redley's sort of area, so she's performed live a couple of times. And I thought, well, it's only fair to sort of like bring her in again, because it's like it's one of her things. And then Tom, I don't think you'd ever seen him before, but he's a great young guy, and he's got a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, very skillful. He's also got a band now as well. So there's a band that are actually I think they're in the Battle of the Bands finals, as far as I remember. So they got through on their first year. They got through to the finals, as far as I'm pretty sure they did, actually. I better check that. This goes out to circulate, but I'm pretty sure they did.
Tom.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, and they're great, and it's like, so he thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'd never seen him doing that clarinet thing before.
Honestly,
either.
Yeah, because I looked him up since, and he's got a guitar, he's got a lovely voice. Yet he just rocked the party. With the clarinet, which I thought, with that cool hat, you can find this on our YouTube channel. But by all means, we were very surprised what came out of the clarinet, because it was very funky.
Yeah, which I wasn't expecting at all. I was like, oh, this is really quite different to what he normally comes down and plays a guitar and sings, and this time he's just put some backing tracks on and gone full blast with the clarinet, which is brilliant.
You guys really picked up a bit of press recently. You've got some very talented artists who are making it at this present time. So as we speak, hot albums been dropped all over the planet. It's album of the week kind of time now for all the DJs, and you've definitely got some of the good stuff coming out of the Basement Door. Do you want to tell us a bit about the talent that spills out onto the world's airwaves?
Yeah, well, we've got like so we have these artists coming, and we don't claim to have like nurtured, cultured, or trained or taught any of these people, because obviously our people come down and we give them a platform to perform, and a lot of our artists, it's their first time performing. They come down to the Basement Door and test out their stuff and everything. In 2017, we had a young lady called Arlo Parks came down. And probably a lot of people have heard of Arlo Parks. If they haven't, look her up. She's absolutely incredible. But she is doing some amazing stuff right now. And she's won so many awards this year already. And it seems to be this year that she's just suddenly rocketed into the limelight. It's like one of those dream come true things, whether she wished for it and suddenly it's the next day she's like, whoa, off we go on a Magic Carpet Ride, but she's very cool-headed. She's always, you know, when we met her, she was very cool and thoughtful, and that comes out in her songs and her poetry. She's really mindful, you know, and Black Dog is all about sort of depression and a friend sort of like trying to help another friend who's in a depressive state and thinking, you know, it's not always going to be this way, but there's this whole, yeah, it's you have to listen to Black Dog to get it, but it's a beautiful, beautiful song, and she's done Hurt and so many other songs this year, and it's incredible. So there's her, and then we've seen other people doing things. One of the guys from She's 17, which is a band from a few years ago, he was on, I think it was the X Factor. I think it was the X Factor. He was on in one of the, got put into the boy band or whatever, you know. And we had Casey Brooks at one of the Hanwha Hootie things, and he's in a New Priority band with the Little Mix stuff that they're doing. So there's a lot of, you know, you watch these people come up and down and everything, and then I did an interview with Dave Ambrose, who's a prolific history of music, and he was talking all about playing with Mick Fleetwood and Rod Stewart and Jeff Beck, but all as teenagers in a youth club, and it was like, this is the same sort of, you know, though he never knew then that these people would become to be world famous global artists with huge like record discographies and stuff, because they were just kids mucking about. Like we have a Basement Door, they're just kids mucking about. Some take it more seriously and know what they want to do. Some are just coming down for fun and whatever, but there's a potential there for, you know, they could get picked up and, you know, like Arlo and other people, you know.
But the platform these days is the world. So if you're following the Basement Door on any of your social media, you'll know what's coming your way. You'll be able to get a flavor on your Spotify playlist. But tell us, through lockdown, you guys kept it real online as well.
Yeah, so we had a bit of a gap recently, but we started off and thinking, well, we can't stop having these gigs and these platforms going out. Unfortunately, the bands could not meet together, so they couldn't rehearse, they couldn't perform, blah blah together. Even if we were going to do a recording of them playing in the studio together, it's like they couldn't happen. So we started off doing solo artists and doing them a live stream and putting 3 or 4 on a night, and we did that every week for a while. And then I thought, well, how do we get the bands involved? So we started doing interviews with the bands and then putting clips in of the bands from previous performance or stuff they'd recorded, so songs. So we got the bands involved in it as well. And then we've had a couple of industry people, you know, doing stuff. Dave Ambrose, and I think there's someone else we had in as well. We sort of talked about the industry and stuff. So yeah, it's I thought it was just really important to not let it all just fade away and die, that we had to keep the energy going somehow. And I know my young Seamus that does all that video editing was very sort of like, Kev, can you put a bit more punch in it? Because it's like, so when I'm sort of like doing it at the venue, I'm sort of quite like, hey guys, how you doing? And let's rock tonight, blah blah. But when you're doing it at home in your living room, it's sort of like, and I'm worried about my neighbours hearing what I'm saying. It's like, well, who's he talking to? Is he running a gig in there? It's like, you know, so I'm sort of like a bit more subdued. And then Seamus was going, can you just put a bit more punch in, you know, next time? And so okay, so I had to build up my enthusiasm for it. Yeah,
I feel a bit sorry for our neighbours. You mentioned like, you know, giving it some online, and you got Kelly and David jumping up and down in the kitchen to Tom Wykes, and you know, we are giving it, and our neighbours can. We live in Southall. I think we're probably in the right place to give it. It's a place of lots of sound and vibrance. And it's a little bit quieter.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I lived over in Southall years ago, actually. Yeah, so
we love it.
Yeah, it's very vibrant.
You said it. Not only do you focus on the music, Kev, but we've you know, been very lucky to down at Redley's to have some of your baristas teach some of our young people the art over the festival times. Can you tell us a bit about the accredited courses? You've got an accredited course that you run down at the Basement Door.
Yeah, so we're we're a recognised. I can't remember what the word is for it now. We're a recognised base for the AQA unit award scheme, which is a nationally recognised certification for stuff. And you can choose, if you go online, you can, I think there's something like 19,000 certificates that are available to do. They're different levels, and we chose a set of them, and we actually wrote the barista one for the thing. So our barista award that we do was actually written by us for the National Exam Board on the AQA. And it's a sort of level 2, and then we do things like, you know, table service and how to open a cafe, how to close a cafe, how to clean a cafe, how to set up a stage, how to get the venue prepared for a gig, basically, and how to close the venue after a gig. So take away the performance and the people coming in, but all the stuff pre and after, we have certificates for almost everything there, so that young people can get these certificates, and then they've got work experience, basically. They're learning how to work, they're learning how to manage their time, they're learning how to be part of a team. They're also given opportunities to speak up and give their ideas, which a lot of our ideas have come from young people. When they come up with some brilliant ideas, and we say, okay, how do we implement that? And then we put them in charge of that idea and say, well, okay, it's your idea, let's go for it, and we'll stick behind you and we'll support you through that idea. And some of them fail, which ideas do. Some of them just sort of seem really good at the time, and then later on come along and it's like, oh, that didn't really work out very well. But that doesn't mean to say that someone else can't come up with the same idea the following year and it might work better. So we're always encouraging ideas to be brought forwards. And these certificates are, say, nationally recognised. They go towards UCAS if you're going into university. So if you're short of 1 or 2 points, whatever, these certificates might just get them over the line. And we also give references to, so we've got a lot of our guys in Brit School and BIM and ACM and Guildford, and we always give them references if they ask for them, to help them get into colleges and say, you know, what we found them to be, you know, and yeah. And that's that. I mean, actually, when we look at it, the music is the secondary part. The education and the training, that's the foundation of our charity. Essentially, the music is just the doorway in.
Mm-hmm. It's gorgeous, because when you do walk in, you got that lovely coffee machine to the left, you got the stage and the sound desk to your right, and all that lovely space in between to mingle and jingle and jingle. To get to know your neighbours, because that's it. It is an intimate venue. It's a lovely space. It is.
Well, I think we're really lucky to have different spaces, because we've got the Richmond basement is a really nicely laid out, and obviously the Vineyard Community Centre and the church have made that really nice. They've just done an extension out the back, actually. There's a garden there, and then the Kingston one is is a basement which is like a real sort of grungy type basement, and then the room upstairs is quite a lofty sort of open room, so there's more space to run around and jump around and everything. And then Teddington one again, like a big church hall with a big stage on it, that's quite a nice venue. But they're different types of venue, so it's really good for the young people to experience different types of venue, but all under the Basement Doors banner, so that we can, you know, name
bring a bit of difference to the world.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's the future spell, Kev? We're looking at 2021 with optimism, with promise, with
Are you?
with hope. I am, definitely. 100%. That's what we're here for, Kev.
It's it, yeah.
Yeah, we're here to spread the optimism and hope for sure.
Definitely.
Because we hope to work together. We hope to make things happen, and our young people will turn up.
Yes, you know, yes, they've been brilliant. Yeah,
yeah, they will turn up. Your young people will turn up.
Yeah,
the crowd will turn up.
Yeah.
So what does Battle of the Bands look like in 2021?
Yeah, so first of all, we've got to finish 2020s off, because we haven't had the finals yet. So we've had the 4 heats in 2020, at the beginning of 2020, just before lockdown. We managed to get all 4 heats in and get all the finalists, but we haven't had the final yet. So that's going to be probably it might be our biggest show of 2021, because
guaranteed.
I think there's going to be a huge amount of people want to come to it. Where we're going to do it, I'm not sure. We're hoping it's going to be a local one, but we you know, historically we've chosen the St Melitus over in Hanwell to do it in. But it might be that it comes local this time. We'll see. We have our first confirmed date for 2021. The other day, I got confirmed of the St Margaret's Fair that we're running 4 or 5 acts on there. That's on July the 3rd, so of 2021. And then I've been looking at sort of talking to the venues and saying, when do you think you're going to open and what's going to go on, and then. But I've also been thinking during this lockdown, so when we come back, are we going to have a lot more people coming, and therefore do we need to look at bigger venues than the ones we use? Are we going to have to sort of say, okay, well, let's go splash out a little bit more money, hire a bigger venue, and go for something a bit more extraordinary and a bit more powerful energy, you know? So, yeah.
See Twickenham from here.
Yeah, well, Twickenham Stadium. yeah. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Why not?
But yeah, I think, you know, 2020 was looking like a fantastic year. It was looking brilliant, and I think if we can carry that beginning of the year over into 2021 and say, okay, let's restart, let's press the reset button and re-go again, but bring all of that enthusiasm and power into 2021, I think we're going to have a fantastic year. And yes, we definitely want to work with Albon. We love you guys so much, and we want to work with you.
If anybody can make 2021 better, it does. It's our barn and basement door.
Yeah,
like I say that with strength and confidence. We've got the people, we've got the know-how, and we've got the time. We're gonna have time to plan this real good. So yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Getting it planned in and getting it right and stuff like that. So I think, you know, things like the Brentford project was a great venue. I think in the summertime doing an Our Barn Fest down there with Basement Door would be brilliant. You know, open the doors up instead of having them closed. Yeah. let a bit of air in. I'd love to get talking to Merlin, actually, the Duke of London. We definitely need to invite him to one of the shows. Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, sort of like even doing something with him as well, you know, doing a sort of like a, you know, I know he did some sort of like drive-in cinemas, which were amazing. I went down there one night and there's these incredible bunch of cars there, all watching this big inflated screen and everything. But we could certainly work with him. I mean, I think he's got the pizza bar, he's got the pub now. He owns the pub, doesn't he? And then then the car place and I think he's taken over that. It's written all over, hasn't it? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you imagine getting the Basement Door and Our Barn in there and doing. We've only sort of maybe 3 gigs a year in there, big gigs, to raise some really sort of good funds. You could even use the outdoors, you know, inside, outside, and then an acoustic set in the pub. Yeah, definitely. You could attract loads. I mean, it's easy, and we've got all the gear to do it. There's no problem in doing that. So that'd be good. And also the sort of like the Steam Museum that you're running your coffee thing in. That would be something we'd be interested in. Yeah. Working with you and helping and provide a bit of music alongside the coffee, you know. It's truly a community space. They need to hear what we've got to offer. They get the service, they'll get the smiles, they'll get the coffee, they'll get the goods, the entertainment that will follow. Because it has got big space outside as well. You know, indoor, outdoor. We can. I think outdoor is the future, Kev. Just to be honest, you know, we've got to think safe. So having a great space outdoors where people can actually relax rather than walk into each other and feel a bit awkward. We'll work on that. We'll work on that. Great. Good. So we've got to talk to the Steam Museum and we've got to talk to Merlin, the Duke. You guys can call us if you want, if you're interested. Put it out there. Why not? And Twickenham. Why not Twickenham? Come on. Yeah, well, one of the dreams I had years ago is that we got a few big bands in and we got loads of support, you know, and it's like I want to keep talking to managers of bigger bands and people that are in the industry more and see if we can get some big names down, which we're going to do Twickenham, but instead of just doing Twickenham, they invite local young bands to come in, local young people to come and help and let the local young people come in, you know, from Our Barn, from Basement Door, whatever, and let them come into the Twickenham Stadium and work with them. Yeah. On the events they do and everything, you know, that'd be really good. So Watch this space, everybody.
Yeah.
2021 has not begun yet, but we're planning big.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. We really miss you guys. You know, we've seen you a few times and talked to you, but we really miss you guys. And it's like, you know, it's difficult, but we'll, like you said, we'll come through.
Kevin, it's always brilliant to talk. It's even better to give a hug, but for now, it's see you later.
Okay. Thanks so much, mate. Cheers. God bless you. All right. Cheers.